we have the usual daily surrounding by an artificial controlling city council. That means like the suburbs control system at a workforce level, like doing maintenance, doing street work, doing any sort of work, necessary work. But most of it is like where if you live in Leichhardt in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia, this work goes on daily on the same streets. Like I live here, and every day on, like, say 4 or 5 streets, you will have them digging up the same footpath and then replacing it, or doing the same work over and over. So it looks real, but it's the same. So how could it be real? Like if it was a normal world or a normal suburb, you wouldn't even change the pavement on a footpath probably not every 30 years even, or 50 maybe in the past. Plane went over my head just then as I spoke, but only small ones, so and is the mobile picking up the weird noises that are surrounding me all the time? In other words, I've always got sound around me, so I'm always being slowly driven out of my mind, you could say. And of course I'm not showing the patrolling false people around, but I could show them. See one running up the middle of the road right in front of me, can you see that? Oh, that is like just the middle of the road. And of course it will just coincidentally always get into a car or play around in a car right in front. They always have to be right in front of you. See how this one will run up a road coming from nowhere because it's a dead end down there, and then get into a car. That's all stage patrolling, stalking, Android, false see how she just come up, run up to the car right in front of me. That's to get my energy and then run away. Plane going over as I speak in front, patrolling plane. That plane can see me very close up even though it's in the sky. It's where my eyes are. It can actually zoom in and see me, like as though I'm standing right in front of it. That's a military patrol plane. And although it's passed over, I can still hear it buzzing in my ears, not to mention these, like I'm literally vibrating here because of the sound around me. And the light, also, this is relatively quiet. If I went down the road, I would be surrounded by thousands of vehicles. Some huge trucks making excessively loud noise. Headlights on all the cars, even low. It is As you can see, broad daylight. Patrolling man in front there, walking through in my line of sight, once again in my line of sight, even though the mobile won't pick that up. See, I put the camera here and immediately a android figure appeared. That's a patrolling false man. When I say a false man in more ways than one, because it's not a naturally conceived human man at all. It's a duality android human being, and a plane is going to literally take my energy over my head, right, completely over my head. Completely over my head. The mobile won't show how low it is, and I'm gonna, this is just, I can hear sound vibrating in my ears, but the mobile won't pick it up, unfortunately. But it also vibrates right through the house though, right through the place. And that is not even particularly loud. Patrol plane in the distance there, but in my line of sight. Is this a normal street? Is it a random, natural, normal suburb? How can I show that it's not? That it's a completely artificial, completely human mind controlling area? How can I show that? And does it matter if I do? Well, of course it doesn't matter to anyone but me, because I'm the only one that's being surrounded by it, because 99.9% of the people in this suburb are part of this control patrol human force. In other words, a mind control human mind control a human mind controlling suburb, because they single out that you're human and they're not, even though there are weird noises, weird mechanical, artificial noises coming from houses all around me here, but the mobile won't pick it up. Like there's noise coming from houses around and even right close, but the sound is now stopped. No, there's some still coming in my noise. Like basically I'm being hit with negative frequency and vibration. Another android that just will walk up on the middle of the road. Notice how these androids have to take, see how this one is walking right on the middle of the road there. Like who walks on the middle of a road? That's showing a dominant android patrol force. Like they are literally patrolling me, trying to stop me from living. The only life here is the few birds. There is noise coming behind that house in front there. The mobile won't pick it up. So literally every house on this street is deliberately, consciously making noise into my ears. And as you can see, although it's not as prominent, normally I will have planes going over every 30 seconds over my roof here, like over here, right over this roof. Well, I didn't have to speak very long, did I? But normally it's every 30 seconds, whereas patrol vehicle moving in on the street, on this small dead-end street. I'm going to stop the video here now because I could film this all day and the noise will get louder. Patroller on the other side of the road there. These are all like, this is a small dead-end street. There shouldn't be anyone hardly on it at all. But if I go down the road, just down to the main street, just down to the end of the small dead-end street and walk down there, I will be surrounded daily by thousands and thousands of vehicles, humans on foot, another patroller about to come out here. Oh, there's the bird going over. See, the patroller there pretending to be doing something. They just, if I walk down this street here, people will just randomly come out their house. Yes, they will pretend to pick up garbage tins, and they will pretend to, some of them will even blatantly just stand and stare at you, or use the mobile as a reason for loitering. They're not loitering, they're loitering because they are, just let me finish up here because I don't pick these videos on the screen, but they come up for me on the random computer, but the computer system is not random either, it's just a mind control system for everyone. But in my case, it controls me at a mind level, but at the same time, it also is what I subconsciously am drawn to. But of course I would have been drawn to these videos 30 years ago. Plane going over the roof, but the mobile will not pick up the sound, but my ears do. So in other words, I'm consciously aware that I'm being watched and mind controlled by sight and sound almost 24 hours a day. The only time when I'm not consciously aware of being mind controlled is when I am either asleep or it's, say, between 1 and, say, 5 o'clock in the morning, when they have to apply their own laws of the land even to me. In other words, they can't come around doing staged council, mechanical, loud, noisy work at 2 or 3 in the morning. Even low in the past, if I was consciously feeling happy, they would stage work even outside my door at 2 or 3 in the morning, if I was able to do that. Of course, I'm not able to do that, but they would actually do that to get control of my mood, my feelings, immediately, because everything is frequency, vibration and energy, and they control the human reality and even the physical reality by controlling the human frequency and vibration, which is my mood or my emotions, because only a human being has the potential to change the frequency and vibration from high, or should I say, only a human being can create positive high frequency of vibration. Most of the human population are artificial androgyne beings, so they always have no vibrational frequency, or what we would call low frequency of vibration. In other words, they're always in what you'd call a depressive, negative, angry, survival, machine-like state of being. So they never feel happy. They don't have any potential. Artificial intelligence or an android being has no potential for a high vibration. They can never be happy. They can pretend to be happy. They can pretend to be the most high vibrational, high frequency, happy, real life human beings. That's because they are the highest imitation of real life, especially the demigods. That means these. This is a demigod here, a demigod icon of the music industry in the past. Okay? These are past videos, but they come up, but they're showing parts of their true nature or part of their true reality in some of these videos. Other times they imitate being a high vibrational human being. Most of the time they try to imitate being a high vibrational human being. But still the aim is to get me to watch them and to relate to them. So therefore I am on their wavelength or their frequency and vibration, because when I admire or watch them, which is what I'm doing when I turn the video on, or relate to them in any way, or even if I'm just captivated by them visually, because don't forget the androids are often visually stimulating, in the sense that probably I sense that there are differences, and I think that those differences are better or greater than what I would normally see, because the demigods will be the best examples or the best imitations of a human being, because they're in the more creative, more emotional human feels, because a piece of music is something that... I better film this because I'm feeling quite ill here actually, so I'll just... and this video might even should actually make people feel ill, but you will think that you're being informed of some truth or some something like that when you watch the demigod music icon. They are false idols and they are conning you. Yes, that's why, as I was shown, plane going over making very loud noise, very unpleasant, but I'm used to the planes because they've been going for 20 years. But of course they are now right over the roof, whereas when the whole suburb decided to close in on me openly, instead of secretly watching a human being as they do with every remaining last human being, which are usually in small numbers in most areas, and then the androids vastly outnumber them, even though from a human standpoint the androids will appear to be more human than the remaining human beings, because they suppress the human beings. Like here, they suppress the human beings whilst elevating themselves, because they pretend to be the real human beings, while I'm surrounded by their noise program or campaign. It's what some people have called a anti-life human or anti-human noise campaign, because it's anti-life because all humans are the only ones that have the potential for some sort of positive life, or in other words, positive feelings. The androids don't have any what some people call love vibration in any way. They don't feel anything happy or positive. They dance around, they sing around, they laugh around, they hold hands, they make love, but secretly that's to camouflage the reality that they're really only disciples of the opposite of that. In other words, they stage a secret war campaign against humanity. So there's sound coming from that house. There was sound coming from that house before. That's just... see, that won't be picked up. But it's a buzzing, humming, mechanical sound. So basically, noise from that house, noise coming from somewhere down here, and noise coming from there. But the mobile won't pick it up because it's very low noise. They can make it louder. It should be a lovely day. The sky is filled with clouds. I could raise my vibration by looking at that sky, but because I'm surrounded by all this sound and the awareness that every pretend human being is really an android that is secretly working against me. I can see one right in front, an android just coming out of its house, goes to their car, fiddle around in their car and then go back inside. I can't film that, but it's in my line of sight as I look directly in front. There's another android in the house coming out in that house there. They just opened their door, slammed it, then went back inside, so that they're making me aware of their presence. I'm only sorry the mobile can't pick up these dreadful noises around me. Like work being done in 4 houses around me, but the mobile won't pick it up because it's too low. But my ears are picking it up, so my senses are overwhelmed, my ears are overwhelmed. It's unnatural sound. So I can't feel okay, even though the sky is blue. And the pole in front of me is signifying something to do with a religious mindset. In other words, human beings are connected to that pole there, whereas the androids are connected to that which opposes the pole, because they're Lucifer's legions laying in front. Patrolling plane. Can see me close up. That is a military patrolling plane. So I have no rights at all to even live a natural life without being surrounded. There's a military one getting into the vehicle right in front. You will see him. These cars are all just parked here, ready. Everywhere I go on the street of Leichhardt, there are cars parked all along every street, even where it's illegal park, so that the androids can get in and out of them as I come past. So that they've always got their vehicles ready to go, even if it was down a relatively quiet street. This is how they work it. That's how I know when I walk around, I literally realise that there are cars, even stationary, just parked to where the cars outnumber the people and the houses, because they're left there because this is really basically an android military operation surrounding me, just because I'm wanting to feel happy. Military man walking up directly past me on the middle of the road again, you'll notice, see, look. And they pretend that they're normal, natural people. They're part of the army, literally. They are actually military personnel. There's one waiting to come up in a truck just opposite there, but the mobile won't pick that up. The plane is going over in my line of sight in the distance, going far too fast for a plane. It's a military plane. The military truck will come up past me here. Another military man that walked up and is now pulling out in the car right in front. See these 2 military vehicles literally right in front of me. Watch how they stage their manoeuvre. See how they stopped and bibbed their horn to let me know that they're watching me. Directly in front. Like, is that coincidence that everywhere I go, the cars will stall and pull up right in front of me. Another military vehicle right in front. And notice how it's backing down the street. See, it pulled out of the house right in front of me, and now it's going to back down the street and will back all the way back up. Does that make any sense? Watch it come back up. Why would a car pull out in front, like supposedly from the house directly in front, and now just go down a few houses down and park at the end of the dead-end street there? That doesn't make any logical sense, does it? Because it isn't logical, it's just part of their patrolling. It's not even going to come up. It'll come up only when I stop recording. But why would someone get into the car in front there and then park it just down there? Military plane, jet going over. I'm just going to finish up here because this will go on all day. But if I have to go down to get some, if I don't want to stay literally confined inside this house all day and all night, every day of the year, every day of the week, which is no doubt what they would want. But I can't do that anyway because I have to go out to even get foodstuffs because I don't have the internet or the computer system sent up to where I can even get deliveries. But I'm just going to play an old thing that came up on the screen just before I decided to show the outside, vibrational control system, because it's all about controlling the human frequency and vibration, because only human beings have the potential for happy vibration or frequency or happy emotion. This I keep saying over and over. That's the only reason I am targeted in this area. Plus the reality, I suppose, that if you look into the psychology of, say, psychopathic, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling human beings, you are essentially being told about the nature or the psychology of an android, or in other words, the mindset of an android. And they make up most of the human population. They are pretend human beings. They're pretend high frequency, high vibrational, happy human beings. They're not. If you get to know them too well, if you were living with an android, you would see their darker side, you would see their truthful side, you would see what they really are. But when you only encounter them in professional or on the internet, or even in say, live-in situations, you will never encounter their dark side, or you will never see what they really are, because you will get the fake personality, you will get the happy android personality, you will get the personality that they have copied and mimicked from a real human being, because that's all they live for. They live to study, watch and copy and then emulate a real human being. That's another reason why they patrol and watch me. Every action that I do, every thought that I think, they put into action in this area, and then therefore they pretend to be a real human being while they surround me with their negative noise, their negative sight and sound patrol control system daily, so that I'm suppressed and I look agitated, angry and frustrated and out of my mind, while they look like the well-composed, beautiful, real, happy, high vibrational, high frequency human being. That's how it works. That's the end game against humanity, or a potentially happy human being. They make you unhappy while they pretend to be happy and real, and they're not. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's the end game. That's the end for me, that's the end for humanity, and that's just, unfortunately, the way it is. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't stop the planes from going over my head. I can't stop them following me. They're military army aircraft. I can't make the 99.9% of the population of Sydney into human beings, because the situation is that the human population is very low and the android population is now the dominant, the dominant part of the population. They make up more than the majority in most areas, I would think. But either way, as I pointed out before, it wouldn't matter, because they basically watch human beings so that they always have a situation like in the suburb of Leichhardt, where basically they single out, because they are paranoid, watching human beings. In other words, that's their nature, to only look out, to always watch, which is what we're told about psychopathic types of people, that they basically are paranoid, so they basically are always watching, which is, in other words, they're always surveilling the environment. They're always looking out for what they see as enemies, and they see real human beings as an enemy, because it's something that they need to emulate and take over and suppress, and therefore then they take that human being's place. It's literally, that's how they took over the population. While they eliminate the human population, they expand in numbers and they surround the human beings, eliminate the human beings, take over the human being's personality, so they pretend to be what they've eliminated. And that's essentially how they become the majority in most areas. In fact, in this area, it's not even the majority. It's 99.99%. In fact, I can't find another human being, and if I did, they would probably be a human being that's not aware of this situation. So therefore, if I found another real human being and went up to that other human being and said, look, 99% of what's around you is secretly working against you and watching you in every single house. Every person that walks past us on the street is watching, stalking, patrolling, person. They would think that I was out of my mind and that I was the paranoid one. You see how the roles get reversed? Because they make me paranoid when they're really paranoid, because they're the ones that are always watching and stalking me. Whereas if they left me alone, artificial or real, I'd probably just get on with my life. Yes, I would be mildly disturbed and careful, but if I thought they were neutral, I wouldn't care, or at least I wouldn't. Well, it doesn't matter either way, because basically I can't push them away. Like I say, I can't stop them anyway. I can't tell human beings not to stalk me on the street, because I can't prove that they're stalking me. If I don't personally know them, I can't say, oh look, that person is part of a stalking control patrol force, and that most of the population are Lucifer's legions in this end time game against humanity. No, I can't do that, because it doesn't make sense, does it, that people that don't have a... Because most people think that stalkers usually are grudge holders, or that they've been rejected, you know, in a personal relationship and they can't let go, so they stalk you to keep the relationship going and to keep control of you. That is actually true, but what you don't realise is that all the beings that are on the street are actually watching you. So their mindset is about having a controlled technical reality. So in reality, they don't want to know you personally. They just want to control you personally, because they want to keep their control reality. And they know that a human being is the only thing that can prevent them keeping their control reality, because they're aware of the frequency, vibration, reality situation. In other words, if you just keep it at the basic fact that we're told that everything, all matter, in other words, the physical reality is still only controlled by frequency and vibration, because scientist tells me that everything is frequency and vibration and energy. Energy is frequency and vibration, controlled. Energy is frequency and vibration, but in solid form. That's just how everything works. So the molecules, or the things that make up matter, are real, but they're actually influenced by frequency and vibration, because science tells me that everything is frequency, vibration and matter, or energy, etc. So, therefore, only a human being has positive frequency and vibration. Only a human being can give out positive, happy energy. See? So, and the androids, or Lucifer's legions, Lucifer is the android that controls the reality. Lucifer's demigods control the internet, the computer system, and the world stage. Anyone who's anyone in any field, any profession, any occupation, any position of power or influence, even if it's, you know, a demigod that you admire, that you secretly worship, because whenever you admire or respect or trust anyone, you are actually worshipping them in a way. You may not say that they are your God, but indirectly you're giving to the artificial God of this reality. When I turn on this, I am idol worshipping the opposite to my true creator, or even the opposite to myself, unfortunately. They are the seeds, the bad seeds of human destruction. And will you see what their right hand is doing? Or will you see what their left hand is doing while you're watching their right hand? That's interesting that this video tells me this, even though it is a demigod of the human control matrix, the human mind control matrix, because even the truth is presented to me by the music demigods that are disciples of, you know, the false god of earth. If you want to look at it that way, it's a false god only if you are not of its kind. If you are not a psychopathic type of person, put bluntly, if you do not seek to control everyone and everything around you, if you do not need to be excessively admired, if you don't try to get the trust and the admiration or respect of people around you, just for the purpose of controlling them so that you can lead them into a path of self-destruction, shall we say, whilst pretending to be a benefit to them, then you're probably out of your mind and just lost your total and are totally mind controlled, and just basically lost my whole train of thought even. So I'll have to leave it to the demigod philosophers and psychologists and whatever other title or even position they might hold to tell you the truth, or to even inform you, because basically it's not possible for me to even think clearly. Much less make a clear recording here. And I can't even record without the potential of being up for copyright, so I'll just finish up with this, and I don't even know why I'm showing this video, but I think it possibly shows that yes, while you're watching, their right hand, their left hand will be taking you down. I'm not sure. I saw this video 30 years ago and didn't understand it. I might understand it a bit more now at this final stages of my life, but it's too late. But it wouldn't matter if I had understood it, because I think you're either part of it or you're not. If you understand things, you're probably part of it. You will pretend to be against it, that's probably the whole thing, but you will probably be part of it. And that goes for androids around you and the demigod, divine android, androgynes of the world stage.
You'll see him in your nightmares, you'll see him in your dreams. He'll appear out of nowhere, but he ain't what he seems. You'll see him in your head on the TV screen. Hey buddy, I'm warning you to turn it up. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a guru. You're one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand.
Designed and directed, it just came to me now. Designed and directed by Lucifer's controlling red right hand, controlling the earth matrix. It's all designed, it's all set up, it's all designed by the red right hand of the God and its disciples that are controlling every human being. And that's the end.